हरे कृष्णा। प्राण नंदिनी माधवी माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। प्रणाम माता जी। ओम
हरे
नमो
कृष्णा।
भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीशुक उवाच एवं संचोदित विप्रेर मरुत्वन अहनद्रिपुं ब्रह्महत्या हते तस्मिन् अससादा विस्रकपिम्। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू माता जी।
थैंक यू। चित्रमोहिनी माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता
चित्र
जी। माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण।
ओम
हरे
नमो
कृष्ण।
भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीशुक उवाच एवं संचोदितो विप्रैर्मरुद्वानानद्रिपुं ब्रह्महत्या अते तस्मिन् असासाद् वृषकपिम्। हरे कृष्ण माता जी। थैंक यू माता जी।
थैंक यू। उषा दयावती माता जी, हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। प्रणाम माता जी। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीसुक उवाच एवं संचोदित विप्रेर मरुत्वानः नादरिपुं ब्रह्महत्या हते तस्मिन् आससादा वृक्षा कपिम्। थैंक यू माता जी। हरे कृष्ण।
कृष्ण। Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shri Shukdev Goswami said, Evam thus Sanchoditaha being encouraged, Vipreh by the Brahmanas, Marutvan Indra, Ahanat killed, Ripum his enemy Vritasura, Brahmahatya the sinful reaction for killing a Brahman, Hate was killed, Tasmin when he Vritasura, Ashashad approached, Vrishakapim, Indra who is also known as Vrishakapi. Translation by Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sukdev Goswami said, encouraged by the words of the sages, Indra killed Vritsasura. And when he was killed, the sinful reaction for killing a Brahman, Brahmahatya, certainly took shelter of Indra. Purport by Shri Prabhupada. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. After killing Vritsasura, Indra could not surpass the Brahmahatya, the sinful reactions for killing a Brahman. Formerly, he had killed one Brahman, Vishwarup, out of circumstantial anger, but this time, following the advice of the sages, he killed another Brahman purposely. Therefore, the sinful reaction was greater than before. Indra could not be relieved from the reaction simply by performing sacrifices for atonement. He had to undergo a severe series of sinful reactions. And when he was freed by such suffering, the Brahmanas allowed him to perform the horse sacrifice. The planned execution of sinful deeds on the strength of chanting the holy name of the Lord or undergoing prashchit atonement cannot give relief to anyone, even to Indra or Nahus. Nahus was officiating for Indra while Indra, absent from heaven, was going here and there to gain release from his sinful reactions. Verse 11. Tayendra smashatha tapam nivritternamum avishit hrimantam vachyatam praptam sukhayanti api no gunaha. Taya, by that action, Indra, King Indra, Sma indeed, Ashahat, suffered, Tapam, misery, Nivritta, happiness, na, not, Amum, him, Avishat, entered, Hrimantam, one who is shameful, Vachyatam, ill fame, Praptam, obtaining, Sukhayanti, give pleasure, Api, although, na, not, Guna, good qualifications like possessing opulence. Translation by Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Following the advice of the demigods, Indra killed Vritsasura and he suffered because of this sinful killing. Although the other demigods were happy, he could not derive happiness from the killing of Vritasura. Indra's all good qualities such as tolerance and opulence could not help him in his grief. Purport by Shri Prabhupada. One cannot be happy by committing sinful acts, even if one is endowed with material opulence. Indra found this to be true. People began to blaspheme him, saying, this person has killed a Brahman for the sake of enjoying heavenly material happiness. Therefore, in spite of being king of heaven and enjoying material opulence, Indra was always unhappy because of the accusations of the populace. Verse 13 and 14. Tam dada tam dada arshanu dhvavantim chandalim iva rupinim Jaraya Vepama Anaganim Yakshma Grashtam Ashrakpatam Vikirya Palitan Keshams Tishta Tishteti Bhashinim Meena Gandhi Ashugandhena Kurvatim Margadoshanam. Translation by Prabhupada. Indra saw personified sinful reaction chasing him, appearing like a Chandal woman, a woman of the lowest class. She seemed very old, and all the limbs of her body trembled. Because she was afflicted with tuberculosis, her body and garments were covered with blood. Breathing an unbearable fishy odor that polluted the entire street, she called to Indra, "Wait, wait." Purport by Prabhupada. When a person is afflicted with tuberculosis, he often vomits blood, which makes his garments bloody. Verse 14. Nabho gato disha sarva sahasraksho vishampate pragudicim disham turnam pravishto nina manasam. Translation by Prabhupada. O King, Indra first fled to the sky, but there also he saw the woman of personified sin chasing him. This witch followed him wherever he went. At last, he very quickly went to the northeast and entered the Manas Sarovar lake. Verse 15. Sa avashat pushkara nalatantum alabdha bhogo yad ihagniduta varshani sahasram alakshito ananta sanchintayan brahma vahad vimoksham. Translation by Prabhupada. Always thinking of how he could be relieved from the sinful reaction for killing a Brahman, King Indra, invisible to everyone, lived in the lake for 1000 years in the subtle fibers of the stem of a lotus. The fire god used to bring him his share of all yagyas, but because the fire god was afraid to enter the water, Indra was practically starving. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा गदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्ते. तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्ते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवसादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. नमां विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने. नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे. Okay. Shri Sukdev Goswami, encouraged by the words of sages, Indra killed Vritasura, and when he was killed, the sinful reaction for killing a Brahman, Brahmahatya, certainly took shelter of Indra. Following the advice of the demigods, Indra killed Vritasura, and he suffered because of this sinful killing. Although the other demigods were happy, he could not derive happiness from killing a Vritasura. Indra's other good qualities, such as tolerance and opulence, could not help him in his grief. Indra saw a personified sinful reaction chasing him, appearing like a Chandal woman, a woman of the lowest class. She seemed very old, and all the limbs of her body trembled. Because she was afflicted with tuberculosis, her body and garments were covered with blood. Breathing an unbearable fishy odor that polluted the entire street, she called to Indra, "Wait, wait." O King, Indra first fled to the sky, but there also he saw the woman of personified sin chasing him. This witch followed him wherever he went. At last he very quickly went to the northeast and entered the Manas Sarovar lake. Always thinking of how he could be relieved from the sinful reaction for killing a Brahman, King Indra, invisible to everyone, lived in the lake for 1000 years in the subtle fibers of the stem of a lotus. The fire god used to bring him his share of all yagyas, but because the fire god was afraid to enter the water, Indra was practically starving. Okay, we are reading from Shrimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, the prescribed duties of the mankind, chapter 13. Do you still remember the name of the chapter?
Indra afflicted by sinful reaction.
Indra is inflicted by this. What kind of sinful reaction is he afflicted by? What did he do that he got
Brahmahatya.
afflicted by a sinful reaction?
Brahmahatya. Brahmahatya. Killing a Brahmana.
Okay. Okay. Go for that. Go more deep.
Before he killed Vishwarupa, because it was circumstantial anger, but this is purposeful killing of Brahmana and Vaishnava, and he was a pure devotee. Therefore, he was chased by Brahmahatya and the sinful reaction, Mataji.
Yeah, very nice. So it was like it was a sinful killing. Not, yes, there is an element that he killed the Brahman, but also because he planned it. It was planned that I will kill and then I will do the sacrifice and then I will be released on sinful reaction. Even though in the heart of heart, Krishna told him that it's not gonna work. You know, but if we purposefully use the holy name, do the sinful activity on the strength of chanting the holy name, then it is not going to benefit anybody. Yes, that is true. That is why it was all the more all the more sinful, and he could not escape the series of sinful reactions, and the very kingdom that he had fought for and killed Ritasura, um, he himself had to fled. You see the irony? Initially, he was dethroned by the demons. Now everything was there, but he himself had to go because the reaction of the sinful activities was so grave. So Prabhupada is mentioning here that doing sinful activity on the strength of chanting of the holy name is unforgivable. Okay, it is unforgivable, and whoever it could be Indra or Nahus. We will read that when Indra was missing in action, then the acting acting leader or acting leader of the demigods was Nahus, who was a Chandra god from Moon planet, one of the demigods from Moon planet, and how he got attracted to Indra's wife in Indra's absence, and then he had to suffer the sinful reaction. You see, so how tricky the material energy is, that even if we want to do something which is good for us, we end up doing something which makes us go through all this ordeal. Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, right? What does he say? That even a man of knowledge, which is that verse in third chapter, even if one of the senses is uncontrolled, even a man of knowledge, no, even if one of the senses is uncontrolled, one cannot derive happiness. I'm paraphrasing, but the verse goes like this: that even if one of the senses is uncontrolled, then one cannot derive any sort of peace or happiness in this life. It's not possible. So basically, what does it mean? What does it come down to? That we are unhappy on account of our own uncontrolled senses. We are unhappy on account of our own sinful activities in the past. So we really cannot blame anyone else or something outside of us because of our unrest or not feeling very peaceful within us. This is the Shastras teaching us. The secular world teaches us that you can arrange your environment to become peaceful. You can, eat healthy. You can exercise, or you can cut down on your work, or you can cut down on your bodily demands, or you can maybe travel to different places, maybe meet different people, and then you will become happy. But none of those really help. None of those are long-term solutions. They can help at the particular moment, but it's not going to really help over the long run of the time, because it is not coming from the solution. The treatment is not coming from the right place. I know a devotee who is who collaborates with the National Health Services in UK. He's a devotee which help and give advice to the advisory to the panel of doctors who treat addiction. When like there are like protocols, right, to treat the addiction in people, different kinds of addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, so many gambling addiction. So there are certain treatment protocols which are built, but he is one of the advisory boards giving that how the adopting or inculcating the process of mantra meditation and reading the scriptures can also be one of the protocol for treatment. So it's so nice, right? So nothing else really helped, because otherwise why every year the addiction rate is climbing up, even though there are so many, there's so many help or facilities available, but it still keeps climbing up. The death rate keeps climbing up, and the age group on which people are becoming victimized by these things, they keep decreasing. Teenagers in America are like that. So why? Think about it. So if you ask a person who is not a devotee, what will they say? Perhaps because of what? Who's not in Krishna consciousness, you ask that why is this drug abuse rate going up? What will they say? If they're not in Krishna consciousness, what will they say? What will they answer? Yeah, what will be the answer?
They'll say they're depressed. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, okay, very nice. They're depressed, so they are, abusing drug. Very nice. What else will they say?
Because
What is
of
the possible?
miseries and they are irritated from others.
Okay, very nice. Okay, what else could be the possible reason for a person who's not in Krishna consciousness? Why this person is abusing so much alcohol, drug, even though they know it's not good for them? What will they say? They're depressed. They're living poverty life. Okay, what else?
Loneliness, Mataji.
Okay, very nice. Loneliness is one of the biggest killer in today's world. Yes. What else?
They know what is right and wrong, Mataji. They won't understand. They won't try to analyze that actually and enter into this. So until they realize that, they will continue that, Mataji, because of ignorance.
Okay, very nice. And then the other possible reasons which we come across, that because they are living in an environment where everyone was doing it, so it became a norm because of the peer pressure at school or college. See, first time is always a choice. They have all these teachings. We get trained. First time is always a choice, but subsequently we lose the inhibition, and then it becomes out of control for a person who is doing such things. So these are all the external reasons. You see, this is a basic fundamental mistake or difference on a Krishna conscious point of view and a non-Krishna conscious point of view. A non-Krishna conscious point of view will actually tell us the external factors. But in Krishna consciousness, we learn, Prabhupada explains very clearly. If you hear Prabhupada's series of lectures in third canto, 26th chapter, he explains very clearly that how modes of material nature are forcing a conditioned soul to act in a certain manner. As is how, so if the modes of material nature, so say, okay, if I tell you, now answer this question, okay, please. You can raise your hand. If I tell you that we have a free will, yes, we have free will. है ना? Now, if I tell you that out of the free will, this particular person, not out of the free, this particular person is becoming addicted to alcohol. So, is this the use of a free will? You can raise your hand, please. If I bring this scenario in front of you, that this particular person is becoming addicted to alcohol, is this presentation, or is this a use of the free will? Is this person using its free will to do it? Yes or no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Pranandini Madhuri Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Who else? Yes or no? Yes or no? I don't know if I'm audible or not. So one part of one part of it says that yes, they are using the free will, but the other part also says that no, they're not using the free will. So the answer is it is yes and no at the same time. How? Because they are using the free will, but it feels like there is a certain kind of a force which is not letting them make a better choice. Yes? Yes, they use it, but there's
Mataji.
certain type of force. Is yes?
Yes, Mataji.
So what is that force? No, what is that force which is not letting that person make a better choice in executing the free will? That force is modes of material nature. You see, Devi hi Esha Gunamayi, Mam Maya Durattaya. So one external understanding of this particular pastime is that Indra, he was even blasphemed by people that he killed his Brahmins so that he can rule the heavenly kingdom. He couldn't stand it. He couldn't stand, and then the sinful reaction personified as a lowest class woman who is afflicted by tuberculosis is chasing him to punish him everywhere. So it's his own deed. You see, we cannot run away. So Prabhupada is writing, one can have any good qualities, opulence or tolerance. Prabhupada is writing in this verse, right? That his good qualities, where does it say? Even the opulence, the tolerance, was not able to give him the peace, could not derive happiness from killing of Vritsasura. Indra's other good qualities such as tolerance and opulence could not help him in his grief. Why? Understand it that, okay, he could have also said that, you know what, I know that I was afflicted by this intense desire to rule the kingdom, heavenly kingdom, but I don't want to do it anymore at the cost of killing a Vaishnava. So I'm giving up this. So then what could have happened? Then maybe Krishna had to speak Bhagavad Gita again. But then it could have been something else. Why Arjun's killing is not sinful and he does not feel afflicted by sinful reaction and chased by a sinful reaction personified as the lowest grade of Chandala woman. And why here he is killing, we can say Arjun also killed devotees and Brahmanas and Vaishnavas and Kshatriyas. Arjun also killed Dronacharya, Brahman. Arjun also killed Bhishma Dev. So why Arjun is not being chased, but Indra is being chased? And why Arjun's execution of free will looks like very magnanimous and glorious and something which we need to celebrate and learn from, and why Indra's execution of free will looks like as if he was not executing the free will. He was forced by something. Why?
Hare Krishna
Prem Prakash
Mataji.
Haridas Prabhu.
Free will actually are of two types.
Okay.
Responsible free will and irresponsible free will. Irresponsible free will goes haywire and chooses anything and everything that comes along without recognizing or analyzing whether it hurts or heals. Whereas the responsible free will is where you analyze, choose, and then execute. Arjuna does responsible free will. The rest of them do the irresponsible free will.
Okay, thank you. Ramya Madhavi Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, Arjuna's killing was as per the wish of the Lord, because he said that Nimitta Matra Bhava Sabyasachi, because I have already decided that they will be killed. Now you only become a Nimitta Matra. So that was as per the will of the Lord. So whatever, though we have a free will, if this will is dovetailed towards the wish of the Lord, then it is the correct use of the will. Otherwise, not.
Very nice. Thank you. Dhanya Dhameshwari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, even I thought same thing actually. As per the will of the Lord, Arjuna's action was there. So like et karoshi et dashnashi. So that was the advice given by a Supreme Lord. So you everything you have to do it as an offering to me. So that was the advice given to him, and then there are many places that advice has been given. But the intention here is Indra was having the expectation to rule over the Indralok, that is the Devlok. That's he did for that, but without any expectation, if you would have done, I think, as per the will of the Lord, this sin he would have avoided, Mataji. That's all.
Very nice. Thank you. Shakti Avasthi, Mataji.
Actually, Mataji, Hare Krishna, what I feel like is when we say Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto, so God serves five purpose, right? He's Anumanta, he's overseer, he's Bhokta, Bharta, Maheshwar. So whatever work if Indra has done according to the wish and will of Krishna, so it has then it is going to be what is granted. So free will here is actually comes from Krishna, what I feel like. It directs us towards the work and dedication towards Krishna. If it is not, so that is not a free will. I feel so.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Pranandini, Madhavi, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Arjuna killed not for personal sense gratification, Mataji. Indra killed for his personal benefit, and Arjuna killed as for the wish of the Lord, for the religious principles, establishment of religious principles, as Lord Krishna wished. Just as
Very nice.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Shubha Rao, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, here I am not able to actually understand. Actually, I was very happy that doubt I was about to ask you yourself brought it and explained it. Immediately I was thinking why Arjuna was not punished by Brahmacha when he killed Drona and all that. But actually, this is also God's design only, no Mataji. He only guided him to have Vajraidha by the approaching Dadichi. Under his guidance only, Indra also executed this actually. So this also can't be said it is done by Indra on his own decision. Because a demon has to be killed, whether it is a Brahmana or whoever it is. Even Ravanasrita was also a Brahmana. So that I'm not able to find the difference actually of Indra's execution and Arjuna's execution.
Okay.
But there
Thank
Krishna
you.
was physically present. Almost it's like Krishna doing himself. That is the difference. Here Indra was guided how to do that. So that doubt lingers me now. How it is
Thank you.
different.
Thank you. Madhusoni, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, there's a difference between intention, Indra had intention for material benefits. It's like selfish motives, Mataji. But Arjuna had he wanted to renounce everything. He wants to go away from the war. But he was doing everything under Krishna's guidance, and he was in a surrendered position, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. Krishna. You see, I would like to bring your attention to this verse. Devi hi esha gunamai mama maya durataya mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam taranti te. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. So, externally, one thing we have to remember is the whole design of the cosmic manifestation is so that we can become purified eventually and go back home, back to Godhead. Whatever one is going through in their life, have gone through or will go through, the goal is, the attempt is from the loving hand of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that we can become eligible at some point, sooner or later or in future, to go back to Krishna. So the preparation is, every movement that is going on in our life is for that particular purpose. Every time that we are given is because of that. Okay, everything is given to us, nothing is ours. Says, I don't have time. I sometimes feel like, what do you mean by I don't have time? The time is something which is not mine to begin with, or I have time. So those are like incorrect English vocabulary statements from the Shastric point of view. Says that, but the thing is that Indra, his also life is planned in such a way that he also will become a devotee. He is already a devotee, but the purification will go on increasing more and more and more and more. Indra, as you, all of you said so nicely, that the intention was that he wants to be the enjoyer. You see, that it's not that I want Krishna to be enjoyer. Even though Lord Vishnu appeared and gave him the uh, direction of how to go and fight with Asura, he was not happy about it, if you recall. Lord Vishnu was not so happy about the whole reason why Indra had asked him to come. Lord Vishnu came because of his own causeless mercy. But Krishna is never going to do something which is not going to be beneficial to us in the ultimate sense, right? Remember, there's a difference between going to Krishna and going to other demigods for fulfilling our desires. Other demigods, they will fulfill our desire, but not necessarily will make us Krishna conscious. But Krishna will make sure that at the end of the day, we get fed up of the desires for which we went to Krishna, and we actually only desire Krishna. So internally, this is what is going on in Indra's life. Okay, internally, one has to go through whatever one has to go through to become convinced of the fact that Krishna is the only enjoyer. Only enjoyer. If somebody understands it sooner, like Arjun understood it, Arjun was able to imbibe it, act on it, then their life becomes easier. They are able to, cross beyond the three modes of material nature easily, as Krishna himself is saying in 7th chapter Bhagavad Gita. But if somebody has not understood it, then they have to go through. Krishna has to keep planning that what next, what next, what next. One very senior devotee one time told me, we don't understand what is good for us, what is bad for us. We actually don't understand. Okay, we only know what our mind is telling, that I have a desire for this, I have a desire for that, I have a desire for this. But if we, submit to the plan of Krishna in our life, sometimes we gain something, sometimes we lose something. And if we understand this to be a plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in our life, then what happens? He said, then Krishna will reveal his plan more and more. If you submit to his plan, the plan will be revealed more and more, like in Arjun's case. It was revealed more and more and more. Indra is taking time here. Vivirtasura is actually, has gone back to home, back to Godhead. He's not actually dead. But here, the purification of Indra is going on. Internally, that is what is going on. It looks very ghastly. It looks very torturous. It looks very unfair because he was told by Vishnu himself. But Krishna is clearing his desire. This is what I pointed out when I first started the class, that it was Indra's desire to rule the kingdom. Okay, and the only reason why he could not rule the heavenly planet was because the demons had come there. Now there are no demons, but he still could not rule that kingdom. He still is not able to rule. So now what? What will happen? Now he's not even thinking about ruling. You see, all these verses we are going through, he's not even thinking about ruling his kingdom. He's not even thinking about sitting with his wife and drinking the somaras and watching the apsaras dance or listening to very nice ragas. He's not even thinking. All he's thinking is that I have to become purified. I have to become purified. I've done something wrong. I've killed a Vaishnava. I have not done this right. I've been chased by this sinful reaction personified. Where do I go to get rid of this grief from within me? Where do I go? Where do I go? You see how Krishna is acting in his life? So we have to become introspective and see that where is Krishna acting in my life. I might be needing something or someone, whatever the case one must may be in someone's life, because we are always lamenting and hankering. This is the conditioned life. Krishna Prabhupada explains this. What is the conditioned life? Conditioned soul is always doing two things, hankering and lamenting. So always hankering, always lamenting something or someone, then we have to see that the place for Krishna is not so much there yet. Then Krishna will have to do something if we are a devotee and if we have even chanted once Hare Krishna with pure intention in our heart, then the circumstances will come in that devotee's life where these hankering and lamentations will become distasteful, and the intention to become more purified will become very, very strong. Okay, this is the lesson from this, that it's very encouraging pastime. It's not that Krishna is necessarily trying to kill Indra or punish Indra. Krishna is so purified. Krishna is so purifying that, he can just forgive Indra. If Indra asks for forgiveness from Krishna, he can just forgive Indra. Why not? But Indra has to become purified from within. Like that, we have to become purified from within. We have to become convinced from within that actually Krishna consciousness is the goal of my life. Only goal. Only goal of my life is to become Krishna conscious. Everything else that I'm doing has to be an ancillary goal, not the central goal of my life. Okay, understand it from all point of views. I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Here one
Hare
more
Krishna.
doubt arises. The Vrittasura had to be killed to come back to Krishna, because he took his only a transient demon form because of the curse of Parvati. So the God only designed Indra to kill him by guiding him to Vajrayana. So Vrittasura had to be
Vrittasura was
killed.
purified, but what Prabhu? Last thing.
No, Vrittasura had to be killed, and Indra was used as an instrument to kill him.
Yes, so what is the question?
So when that is also planned by God only, that he should be killed by him so that he comes back to God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the whole design appears to be God's design only.
So that Indra can be purified.
Where Indra's specific lalats is coming on the way here. Here Indra was used by Krishna to kill that demon so that he comes back to him.
I don't know. I don't know if we can use the Indra was used by Krishna, because Krishna is not telling Indra to cultivate this desire to rule the heavenly kingdom. It is Indra's desire to rule the heavenly kingdom, but by good fortune, because he is a demigod, he approached Lord Vishnu to fulfill that desire. So Lord Vishnu is now not only going to fulfill that desire, but also going to purify his heart from that desire, same desire. You see? This is what I asked. Now, if somebody is addicted to alcohol, are they using their free will? It's yes and no at the same time. It was Indra's desire that I want to rule the heavenly kingdom. But because he's a devotee, he reached out to Vishnu. And because it's Vishnu is going to make sure that he's purified of the same desire that brought him and become a more staunch devotee. Because that's what Krishna wants. Krishna wants to see us more and more devoted, because he knows that's good for us. You understand? Understand the application of this more than analyzing who's who. And where am I going wrong in my life? You see, where do I have to get purified from?
Yes, Mata. That's true.
Does it make sense, Shubharao Prabhu?
Yes, Mata. Yes, Mata.
Okay. Any other question, reflections, realizations, corrections? Mataji, go ahead. Shakti Avasthi Mataji.
Mataji, does it means that whenever we have a desire, है ना, So, and even if we have lots of positive points in our hand, lots of good karmas for which we can expect some good fruits, then also those desires definitely going to give us some good result as well as some bad result. So always the desires will have some or the other repercussions, side effects, like Indra was facing.
Yes, Krishna says this, yeah, very nicely you put it, because any material desire is going to keep us in the material world, good or bad. Krishna says this verse. What is that verse in 5th chapter, verse 22? येहि संस्पर्शजा भोगा दुःख योनाय एवते आदि अंतवंत कौन्तेया नातेषु रमते बुढ़ा. So Krishna says this, yehi samsparshja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate. So I had one class on this, and Maharaj was explaining that yoni. This is dukkha yonaya evate. Yoni, one meaning of the word yoni is the womb. Okay, so in the womb, what happens? The child is being formed, like any mother's womb, animal mother or human mother or whatever mother. What is happening? Same thing is happening. The child is taking a shape. So what does it mean? So yehi samsparshaja bhoga. So enjoyment that comes by virtue of the sparsha or touch of the sense and sense object. Dukkha yonaya evate. The same enjoyment, wherever I'm going for enjoyment, that same place, dukkha yonaya, even the same enjoyment is going to give birth to the misery. Same enjoyment. So whatever is I'm enjoying in this material world, the same enjoyment will become the cause of my misery, because the misery is taking birth underneath that enjoyment. This is one understanding of this verse. Any material enjoyment is detrimental to our spiritual health. I'm not saying that we don't enjoy. We enjoy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, eat nice prasadam, dance, chant Hare Krishna. This is enjoyment. But it is not a material enjoyment. Some sparshaja bhoga. So yes, the Shastras are warning us, but we don't have that much of a strength, or the heart is still weak, that we don't really follow it. But the understanding, at least theoretical, must be there. Same enjoyment, in the womb of the same enjoyment, the misery is getting formed or taking a shape. Just a matter of time when it will come out. Mataji, are you there? Shakti Avasti
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. This is what
You
occurred to me,
understood?
so I shared. Hare Krishna.